Welcome back to another episode of Life with Lamb. Today I'm here with Aman. How you going, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's nice seeing you. I feel like it's been a very long time.
100%.
You know, we go all the way back and then we sort of cross paths again. And
that was insane. I saw you and I was like, man, is that really him? Like, I think I know this guy.
For context, Aman and I used to swim along with Rashab. Shout out. Bit of a trio back then.
100%, man. Always showing the lane and screw everyone else. We'll just do our time
Yeah,
trials.
exactly. We're just racing. Almost pushed John in the pool.
Exactly, all the time. It was actually really fun, but I dread those days.
Oh yeah, no, swimming. Look, I miss it. I feel like I developed into an okay swimmer, but
For sure.
I don't know. Sometimes kids get forced into the squad and they're just like, oh god,
Exactly.
get me out of here.
I think we were all forced into it.
Exactly. Well, Aman, for context, for the listeners as well, you are a McDonald's barista turned TikTok famous superstar for your coffee work. Where did it all begin? And I guess where did it all start?
Well, I mean, the main thing is I started at McDonald's in the cafe, right? And I really had a love for art, but I could never draw. I could never paint, right? But then I realized, I was like, oh my God, you can do this in a coffee, right? Like who would have thought you can pour swans, pour tulips, pour whatever. And I was like trying to get into it. And I was like, man, these designs I've been seeing on Instagram are insane. And it's the first thing I wanted to learn. Even before like making a good cup of coffee, I was like, I want to make latte art. But then obviously you start doing it and you realize like there's so many things behind it. You have to learn how to do good milk. You need a good espresso shot. You need all these things. Anyways, once I figured that all out, I started posting on Instagram. And like I started having people like be like, oh my God, that video was so cool. And it was just like friends, family, like all these people. And then it got to a point where I just kind of got bored of the same people always saying, man, these videos are cool. And then I stopped posting for ages. Like I honestly, I think I drifted away from my Instagram. But there was a time where I was so excited. I was doing merch. I was making selling shirts at school. Like people were buying phone cases. Man, it was insane. I made there were terrible shirts. Like I'm sorry to anyone that has them. They were like super simple designs. It literally was like a black shirt with a red rectangle that said Aman Coffee in the middle. Like,
I love it.
It was simple.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had a bunch of supporters that wanted to buy them, which was sick.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Aman Coffee. Get around it, everyone, on TikTok,
Please.
Instagram. You've taken the world by storm, and what a place to do it, Melbourne. Like, literally the heart of coffee,
100%, exactly.
Yeah.
I always thought, because I was born in Canada, right? And my dream when I was a child was to be a brain surgeon, right?
You serious?
I wanted to be a brain surgeon, but there's I don't know what I was thinking, man. Back then, who knew there was so much work that had to go in behind that? Like, when you're a kid, you're like, man, this is so cool. Like, whatever. I even had business cards that had that said I was going to be a brain surgeon one day. Like, my dad made me these little tiny cards.
That's
so that was my dream. But it was obviously you grow up and reality hits and you're like, maybe this isn't for me. But thinking about it, if I didn't move to Australia, I always think to myself, what would I be doing? Because hospitality and especially being a barista, that's not a thing in Canada. Starbucks, yes, but I don't think I would have ended up there. Right? They don't have that love and passion for coffee like we do.
Yeah, amazing.
So I love that I came here for it.
Yeah, tell us a bit about your upbringing. Like, you say you're from Canada, and what were you like as a kid?
Man, I was born in Canada. Growing up, man, it was just such a nice community. It's so different. Never even had to think about anything else, right? Grew up, hung out with friends. All of my friends, we all lived on pretty much the same street. So we'd all be hanging out, going for bike rides, doing all these things. We'd be at each other's houses all the time. And then I got to 10 years old, and my dad was like, "Oh, my work is transferring me to," it was either China or Australia, right? And he was like, "I'm gonna have to go travel for these." And he was like to his work, "I'm actually not gonna go do this unless my family comes with me." So we had the big family talk. We're like, "This is what's gonna happen. We're gonna choose between these two places." Ended up choosing Australia. Mind you, I had no idea. I'm 10 years old. I didn't even know Australia was a thing, man. And I did what any other little kid would do. I got my laptop, I typed in Australia, and obviously you would know what would come up. It's like kangaroos, crocodiles, Ayers Rock. You're seeing all these things. And I was like, man, this is what Australia is. This is there's kangaroos in your backyard. I know it sounds so, you get that so often. I'm sure every tourist or anyone is like, you got kangaroos in your backyard?
100%. But we're all impressionable. So
exactly.
and the internet is dangerous in a way that
sure.
it does that.
That's and I'm a 10-year-old kid, man. I'm like, man, Australia looks so cool. The Great Barrier Reef was coming up, and I was like, this is my new life. Anyways, then we came up down here and moved down, and I was me being young. I was like, I can settle in. It's easy to make friends when you're young, right? But my sister, she's 5 years older than me, so she would have been 15. I think she's coming into grade 10 or 11. Like that age to come into like a new country, it's pretty hard because they already have those big groups. They already have like those friendship groups. So you can't really like slide in as easily as a 10-year-old would, right?
Is that something that you've seen like after reflecting upon your move? Did any hardships ever come up when you moved, or
not for me at all? For my sister, for sure. She got like a bit depressed and all that and whatnot. But like obviously we all got through it. Like even my mom and dad, like my mom made friends through the kids. Like I would hang out with. She'd hang out with their parents. Even to this day, she's still hanging out with one of my friends. Like mom's every couple of weeks for a coffee. Like it's kind of nice. So I never actually had a problem. Like I kind of settled in really easily. And the crazy thing is like it was only meant to be a 2-year move, and now it's been 13 years.
13 years. Yeah. Wow. What's been the biggest difference between the two? Like, can you recall, or do you feel like you can call Melbourne your home now?
Deep down, I don't know why, but I really just like calling Canada my home. Like I love Melbourne, I love Australia, but like Canada just has a part of me, right? I don't know what it is. I've got still friends there, I've got family there, but it's just got a big part of me. But Melbourne is my home now, right? Yeah. So I kind of have to go with it, roll with it. Like,
true. Would you ever consider moving back, or do you feel like?
I think to the point of where I am now, like having where I know what I want to do when I'm older, which is stay in hospitality, own a cafe or whatever it entitles, right? I think Canada isn't that place for me to do that. Unless maybe I could go take it there and maybe change their coffee scene down there. But I think for now, my mind is set here.
Yeah, and like I said, probably in the most beautiful place to do it, like
for sure.
The heart of coffee. You said you wanted to be a brain surgeon when you were growing up. What were the sort of career conversations for you growing up? Like, were your parents pretty harsh on you in terms of like study and everything, or were they pretty supportive of where you wanted to take your life?
I think honestly, like, obviously when you're a kid and you're saying you want to be a brain surgeon at 4 years old, like they're laughing at you. They're being like, this is what an amazing child this is. But I honestly have like the best parents ever. They are so supportive of anything anything I've like wanted to do. They've been so supportive of it, where they've been like, you can go do it. But like, so even with this like hospitality thing, I was like, man, like school is not like for me. Uni's not for me. But I was like, I don't really like care for it. But and then they were like, just go get your degree. Go have a degree at least. It's your backup. It's something. Then I was like, okay. So I got my business degree. And like, I didn't do amazing in school. Like it wasn't my thing. But when I went to uni and I studied business, and because I had a passion for it, I actually ended up doing really well at uni. And my parents were like, so this is something you like, go follow this. So I got my bachelor in business with in entrepreneurship, passed with a distinction, which is amazing for me, right? Like,
slay.
I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it.
That's
so
awesome.
I did that, and
yeah, perfect. And then the hospitality scene, like, who got you into that? Were you just this little kid that sort of needed a job, needed some money, needed some work experience? Like,
it's actually, I was so keen to work. I think I was 14 or something years old. I'm pretty sure you have to be 14 to 9 months to get like your first job. I think I was actually 14 to 9 months, and I applied for Baldwin McDonald's. I was like, you know what, all my friends were working there. I was like, I'm gonna go try this out. And then I applied. I went in for my interview, and the guy was like, oh, we're only hiring 15-year-olds. And he's like, but you pretty much have the job. Like, right, I'll give you the job when you come back when you're 15. And then the day I turned like 15, I came back, and they were like, oh, this guy doesn't work here anymore. We're going to have to go through this whole process of hiring again.
Heartbreak.
I was like, man, like, what if I don't get this job? Like, I had it, but like, I don't have it. So I got that job. So I was really set on going into this hospitality and well, maybe it wasn't hospitality, but I was really set on going into this first job. And apparently, I agree, McDonald's is the best place to start. Like, they have the best training, the best like rules, the best, like, they teach you everything you need to know.
Yeah,
job.
I have heard that. Yeah, I feel like the training procedures or processes that they have are like top notch.
For sure.
Didn't they have like a university at one point, like a Macca's uni?
I'm pretty sure it's in Sydney.
Are you serious?
You know, they literally have you can literally graduate from McDonald's University.
Wow.
I never got to that point, but like, I did some other fun things with them.
What point did it get to? Like, you're 15 actually, you've got the job and you're working. Were there any points where you're like, oh God, this is the worst thing ever? Or did you love it from day dot?
Absolutely loved it from the first day. Like, I made the coolest group of friends from this job. And as you're young, like, it's like, as you grow older, like, you probably figure out it's so much harder to make friends because like when you're not in school, when you're not in university, like right now, I'm finished all these things. I've finished school, uni. I have this one job, so I rely on like these are my friends. Either the people that I've kept from school and the people that I've now making friends with at work. like it's hard to make new friends from this, right? So
That is actually very true, that point. I think we're so privileged to be able to go through, your kindergarten, your primary school, high school, and then you have the privilege or the opportunity to go to university, and then you make friends. I'm in my 3rd year of uni.
yeah,
And it does wane on me a little bit that this is my final year of being able to like grab a few friends, a few more friends.
No, and I only learned this after I finished all these things. I finished uni. I was like, shit, man, I only got like, I got like 2 friends from uni. Like I stayed in, I had like, when you're at uni, you're hanging out with everyone every day. Like this, you have your group, but then you don't realize when it's over. It's like, will you actually stay in contact with them?
Yeah.
Like, were they really your friends, or were they really just there for the experience of uni? Like, so I kept a few, which is sick.
Yeah, exactly. And like your parents always talk about uni being, some of the best days that you have, and you have lifelong friends. But I think, especially with COVID happening, and sorry to bring that topic back up, I think, so many people are just like unwilling to put themselves out there and really foster really good connections when I see on, there's a anonymous forum called Unimob Love Letters.
Seen it, actually.
Yeah, have you seen it?
It's so funny.
It's so funny, some of the shit that gets posted there. But people are posting and they're like, I've just finished my 3-year degree, maybe going into masters, and I don't know a single person.
Yeah.
And just how sad is that when you're literally in a really large scale environment with all these people in there? It's just like, interact.
And it's hard for some people though. I remember my first day of uni, I went to my first class and I was like, man, I know nobody. And I sat down, and you kind of hope like people will sit on your table, and then they do. But they're all awkward. Like everyone's awkward on that first day. It's like being a little kid in school, right? So everyone's a bit shy. And then the next class came, and you see some people from that class before, and you're like, oh, like, well, I'll sit with you. I kind of saw you before. Like then I think that's how you build it up.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone's waiting for that first move or that sort of like relation where you're like, oh, I've seen you before. Like,
but the good thing is unis these days, like they give you these icebreakers. They make you learn about each other.
I know, and everyone cringes and eye rolls. I do myself, but it's just like I think I and myself, I'm pretty extroverted, so I'm able to go out and foster these relationships. But it's good that they're putting these things in place, because it's really sad. We're in this lovely opportunity and place to make friends and make lifelong friends, as our parents would say, but sometimes we just don't take the opportunity to do so. So so you finished your business degree. Did you know where you wanted to take it from there?
Well, I knew, like, I've always had a passion, right? And I wanted to open up my own cafe. And I was like, I finished uni, and now what, right? Like, what do I do now?
That was
literally
the biggest question ever.
You finished your degree, you have it all. Like, what do you do from here? And then I thought to myself, and my parents were like, you've done your degree, go open your cafe. Like, we will support you. We will help you. We'll be there for you. Mom was like, I'll work in the kitchen. Dad's like, I'll do your book work, right? Like they were like, we will help you. Like, you can put all like whatever you have into this. And the best thing about it is you're young. You can take a risk, right? Like if it goes downhill, you're young. You can restart this and go again, right? This is the best time to take a risk. But then I sat with them and I was like, you know what, guys, like, I appreciate all this, but I know for myself, I'm not ready. And they're like, how come you're not ready? And I was like, I have all the experience. I have all the knowledge to go do these. Like, I finished uni. I had all the like practical experience as well, working at all these cafes. But I was like, I don't think I've lived. Like, I finished school, went straight to uni, finished uni. Now what? Like, I haven't got a chance to go have fun with my life. So next week, I'm going to London for 2 years. I'm going to move there and kind of just enjoy my life for the 2 years, right? And kind of get it all out of my system, come back. And I'm sure I'll learn. I'm not going to go there and party every day and go lose my mind, but like... But
even if you do, I feel like you still learn.
Yeah, I deserve it, right? I think I deserve it.
100%. I did skip a step. All right, I should have talked more about coffee. But yeah, London, like, what a time to do it as well. Like,
it's the perfect
you're
time.
So young. My aircon's flipping out a little bit. But all right, I might turn that off. Talk to us... Sorry, I'm going to backpedal a little bit.
It's fine.
Talk to us about coffee. Like, at Macca's, how'd you get introduced to the coffee scene, and I guess, did you know from the beginning or the first time that you touched coffee, like, yes, this is it?
Yeah, well, because at McDonald's there's a few sections, right?
Keep going.
So yeah, at McDonald's there's a few sections. There's the till, the front counter till. There's like drive-through running. There's the drive-through order taking. And so I kind of went through all these sections, and they have like not really a ranking, but when you start off, you go into this till section, then you go up into the drive-through order taking. And I always used to look at the guys, well, not really guys, but there was guys and girls in the cafe, and I'd be like, man, that seems like the cool area. Like, they're like, because they're away from everybody. They don't like, they're doing their own thing, and that seems like you have to be so good to go into that special area. And I looked at it and I was like, man, I want to be like, there was this guy named Jack, right? I have not seen him or heard from. I don't even know his last name. Like I don't know. I can't remember him. But anyways, Jack, if you're watching this, hopefully
Shout out.
he was I reckon he was a cool guy. He had like the long hair, the baggy shirt, right? I was like, man, this guy, like, is that like a barista? Like this, that's sick. And then I honestly, I was like, this is like, what a cool guy. And he like, just, I don't know. Anyways, got to grade 10 and it was like, all right, guys, work experience is coming up. Like, go find your thing like ASAP. And I obviously, me being who I am, left it to the very last minute. And I was like, shit, like, what do I do? And I was like, oh, I'm working at McDonald's at the time. Like, maybe I'll just go do it there if they let me do it. They were like, yeah, go for it. We'll chuck you in the cafe. We'll put you with Jack. He'll teach you how to do this for a week. And that's it. Like, there you go.
Dream come true.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Oh, I love it. And what did you sort of learn about coffee and more about your passion, I guess?
Well, I mean, I started it with him. I remember like the first day he like kind of took me in. I was like, I would send him videos on Facebook. He's like, and they were all latte art videos. Again, I was like, can we do this tomorrow? And he's like, well, we can, but like, let's get into this first. And I don't think he had a skill for latte art as well, but he could make a good coffee. So even it kind of excited him having someone be like, can we do this? He's like, well, maybe we should learn it together. Like, it'd be fun. So like the next day we kind of would have fun and practice. And he taught me all these things about coffee. And a lot of it was me just watching. Like, I wish I could kind of like teach myself in that back in time, which I ended up doing. He taught me what he could and he showed me what he knew. But I'd go home and I'd study this whole thing about coffee. I'd come the next day and I'm like, man, I can do this. Like, I would be teaching them these things, right?
Serious.
So I just found this love for coffee because I think I'm one of those people who, if I'm not good at something, I have to be good at it. Like, I have to go back and keep doing it until I'm good.
Yeah,
and that was one of those things.
Oh, I love it so much. And oh god, how old were you?
How old were you in grade 10? I don't know.
Oh god, jeez, feels like a lifetime ago, to be honest. Oh my god,
how old are people in grade 10 these days?
15, 16?
Yeah,
yeah, probably
maybe 16 then.
Yeah, probably 16.
No, you know what? 15 or 16. We'll
Yeah,
say.
were you a coffee addict at 16 already?
Honestly, I remember going for dinner with my dad, and he'd get an espresso after dinner. He just shot it down. He's like, try it. And I'd try it. And I'm like, how are you drinking this? It's gross.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I think I had it. I just don't even know how I tried it, but a caramel latte from McDonald's. That's how I started drinking coffee. I just had one. I was like, this is amazing. And I'd finish work at like 11 p.m. and I'd take home a caramel latte. And Dad's like, what are you doing? You have to go to bed. And I'd drink it. And I was like, I'm fine to go to bed. Like, a coffee didn't have this effect on me like it does with anyone else. And it's still to this day, it doesn't affect me.
Oh, are you serious?
I just enjoy the taste of it. And it doesn't, like, I don't rely on it.
Actually, yeah, some people were like that. I actually don't know like what the science is behind that or anything. But so you don't feel like any like jitters or tingles
I
or
wake
anything?
up and I don't go to myself being like, man, I need this coffee to get through with my day. I didn't even have one today. Like, I honestly did not have one coffee today.
You probably
which is
didn't have
insane.
time to. It was
No,
just
honestly,
so busy.
I was so busy today, man.
Oh my God.
But I didn't have one and I didn't need it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still awake. I'm still here and happy and fine. So
Oh, that is something that I feel like a lot of people would
yeah,
admire.
they're all jealous, eh?
Yeah, 100%. Oh my gosh. And then, so look, if you scroll down on Aman's Instagram, I think you see the Macca's ad. Is that right?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
So many opportunities came out of McDonald's. Like, I remember my biggest outbreak for myself was this latte art competition. So this like little competition popped up for all of Australia, being like McCafe Barista Champion, like send in your submission videos. And the store manager at the time, no, the restaurant manager, he was like, you're doing this. Like, we are signing you up. So I got one of my friends to come film like a little video for me, submitted it in, and they loved it. So then I got shortlisted into this competition with 3 others from Victoria, and then they had 4 from each state. And we all gathered up together. We flew to Sydney for this gigantic competition.
No way.
Well, not gigantic, but for me,
that would have been huge.
Being 17 years
Yeah.
old or 16, I was like, man, this is a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
Anyways, won this competition in Sydney, right? Huge.
Let's go.
And even to this day, man, I still push this like title out. I'm the 2017 McCafe Barista Champion. Like, that is huge.
That rings very nicely
Right?
off the
Doesn't
tongue. Yeah, I know.
The best McCafe Barista in Australia. Like,
Wow.
that's a big title. There's a lot of McCafe baristas out there.
Yeah, I don't think
right?
there's going to be... yeah, exactly. No one's really going to top that. To
I
be
hope
honest.
not. I hope not. And there hasn't been a competition since. So,
Oh, you're
so I'm
serious?
still the reigning title.
So since 2017, there hasn't been a...
No,
Amazing.
I know,
You're
isn't
the
it?
last one.
exactly. Maybe it could be. But yeah, from that, then that's when like head office kind of like, I was under their eye, right? They were like, man, who is this kid? Right? Like, pretty good. When I was yeah, I don't want to be up myself, but they were like, man, this kid's like, he's talented.
If you haven't already, go on Aman's Instagram or TikTok and just have a look at the art. I feel like he has a reason to be, boasting about his feats. So yeah, just take the time to do so. But yeah, continue. Like, you can be up yourself, mate. You're 2017 Barista of the Year.
Exactly, Barista champion, man. But yeah, so I was under their eye, and they were just like, some opportunities are coming up. Like, do you want to go do this ad with Melbourne Storm? Right, like, we're gonna go film a TVC with Melbourne Storm. Can you go make the coffees for it, and you'll be in the video? I was like, sick. Then another one was like with the Melbourne Football Club. What's it called? Not like AFL. What's the soccer one?
Victory?
Maybe it's Victory, yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, we're doing a TVC with Melbourne Victory. Like, can you be this for this? And then they were like, we're doing a TV show with Channel 9 called The Oval Office. Can you be the guy at Barista for that? And then they just kept throwing opportunities at me. And I was like, this is unreal. Like, I stayed with McDonald's for so many years, like for these opportunities.
Yeah,
they were just coming left, right, and center.
Oh my god, beautiful! And I think so many people, you look at Macca's or entry level, I'll do quote unquote, but like the people that take teenagers who are impressionable, looking for part time work as like a mundane work environment where like, oh, I hate my job, yada yada yada. But you've like gone out and worked really hard at a certain craft that took your interest,
for sure.
And you've just like taken over pretty much. Like, all the opportunities started flowing, and I think that's such an amazing outlook and work ethic for life as well. It's like, make the most of the opportunities that you're given, even if you think that it's some mundane job or role,
because you never know what's like going to come from this, man. Like, this I don't know, you just got to grab whatever comes at you, literally.
So when you've left Macca's now, obviously, but yeah, how long's it been? Like,
well, I was on their books for so long. Like, I don't know. I started when I was 15. I'm pretty sure I got let off the books last year.
Last year, really?
Yeah, well,
like, officially off the books?
But I was just lingering in the system. Like, I hadn't actually resigned. Never got like fired, right? I was just lingering in the system. And then they were finally like, man, you haven't done a shift in like 3 or 4 years. Like, I think it's time for you to go. And I was like, that's okay. Like, jeez, fair enough. Like, they've got to move on.
Is there a record for the I don't know, longest kept, oldest serving?
No, I don't think it'd be me. There's a guy at McDonald's who's been there for so many years.
Oh, wait, at Baldwin Macca's, right?
Yeah, Ollie.
Oh, yes. I think I know who you're talking about. He is iconic.
He loves his job. He's the best person in the whole entire
world.
world.
Exactly.
He deserves that record there.
Yeah, I reckon. Far out. Maybe I'll get him on the podcast.
Dude, honestly, you'd love it.
That'd be awesome. Far out. And for people who are in the Baldwin area, I feel like, yeah, you'll know who we're talking
he's
about.
He's the nicest guy ever.
I feel like, yeah, I grew up and he was always there. And then I'd go, late at night when you're in high school, on school holidays, and you're like, oh, let's go out Baldwin Macca's.
Exactly, all the time.
He's always there.
He's got the biggest smile on his face. Honestly, I've never met a nicer and happier person.
Yeah, I love it.
It's amazing.
And that's the whole thing. Like, this is why I do the podcast and everything. You find the people that love their job and love what they're doing because it like makes them happy.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's the most you could ask for in life.
Exactly.
So
when you talk to someone who has a passion for something, like, they will tell you the truth. Like, and you can 100%. See it when someone has a passion, they're so excited to talk about it, and it's more interesting,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at yourself. Like, you're getting really excited about like coffee and everything. Amazing.
Get me coffee.
And then, what sort of opportunities followed after? Like, when did you know sort of Macca's? It's like sunsetting a little bit. Maybe the growth or development here isn't as much as I'd hoped for.
Yeah.
When did you know that it was like time to move on, and where did you go after that?
I think once with a lot of jobs, once you feel like you've not outgrown it, but once you feel like you've done enough and you've learned enough, you want to go to this next step and learn more. So after McDonald's, I was like, all right, coffee's like what I'm kind of into now. Let's go find a specialty coffee cafe and like go learn from them. So I think I went to Legacy Camberwell, if you know that place.
I do know that place. Yes.
So that was like, I saw online they had like so many thousands of followers, and they were getting all these influencers in it. I was like, man, like, this is the place that's pretty cool. So I applied for that, and I got the job there. Started off, and I learned. They had this barista there. He was really helpful, and he taught me everything. And it was the best part about it was he wasn't one of those nice baristas that was like, oh, I'll show you how to do this. He was like, what are you doing? Like, and I was like,
sometimes you need that.
Honestly, it gives you like, I learned from him, right? Like I was like, these days now, if someone comes to the coffee machine and I'm teaching them, I'm like, no, like, you can't be like all nice and friendly with them. You got to like be strict. They need to learn this way.
I think we're pretty soft sometimes with feedback, and I'm a huge advocate for like, you just need to be like straight to the point.
Get direct,
sometimes you just need to be direct and not beat around the bush.
Sure. And now that's never left my head. Even like every time I make coffee and I think about teaching someone, I think about how he taught me.
Yeah.
And being like, do I want like this person to be scared of me but also respect me? Like, yes,
100%. Yeah, like I know like really great managers who I can call a friend, but I know that they'll be that stern voice when like things need to get done.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you need that fine line as someone teaching or when you're in a position of power, quote unquote.
For sure.
So legacy followed, and then how long or like what happened then?
And I worked there for I don't even know like 7-8 months maybe.
Yeah.
I actually like can't remember, but then after that I was like, well, they had a big turnover. Some people left, and I was like, man, the dynamic's changing a bit. Like, let's go move on somewhere else. Let's go find our next place. Then I think I went to Adney in Kew.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
It's a pretty cool. It's like a local cafe. It's in the bottom of like these. It's like it was a house turned into a cafe. So you go in, it's got rooms, right? Like rooms where there's seating, and it's got the kitchen in the back. It's pretty. Jeez. It's got a backyard, right? You can sit in the backyard and have like. It's amazing. It's a really nice place.
Quick segment, actually. What are your top, let's say, 3 cafes? Melbourne.
3 cafes. Ooh. Well, I'm gonna have to vouch this. What I work at, Outlaw Canterbury. You should check it out.
Yeah, shout out.
There's a camera. There you go. Check it out. Outlaw Canterbury. It's an amazing cafe. We've got toasties, food, coffee, everything. Great service.
Aman's there.
And I'm there. Not for long, actually. Though.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, last week. Podcast won't be out by then, but yeah.
But I'm trying to think of other really good cafes. There are probably isn't any, man. They're actually no. You know what? Melbourne's full of cafes, but I don't actually go out and experience like all these places.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm at work every day, and then I go home and sleep. Right.
Yeah.
My routine is eat, sleep, work, and golf. Right. So
working golf, love it. When did you go to Lululemon? Because that's how we sort of recross paths.
Yes.
I remember I was hosting an event with one of the community leads there, and we walked up. And then you were there, and I was like,
amazing.
"There's no way."
Why is he making coffee here?
I was like, "He's just making coffee."
Man,
like,
so I don't even remember who put this Instagram story up, but this is when I was at Adney. So I was working at this cafe in Adney, and I finished work one day, and this Instagram story came up. Yeah, this Instagram story came up, and it was like, if you like making 7 different types of milk and you have a good attitude, whatever, like apply for this job. I was like, oh, okay, like I don't know what this job is, but sick, like applied for it. Then I got a call from one of the girls there. And she's like, the first question she asked is like, what do you do with like your life and like all this? And I was like, this is a really great, like, do you care about what I do with my like work? And so like had this really brief chat with her. She's like, come in for a better conversation. I went in, sat down, and for a second I was so nervous sitting in the lobby, just like waiting.
Yeah, it's pretty scary in their office.
You always have these nerves, like you don't know what you're getting into. It's a corporate business, right? Went upstairs, and I remember. One lady on this side of me, the other one on this side of me, and I'm in the middle. And both of them were just like super chill, like hang on the couch like this. And they were like, how do you stay active? Like, what do you do for fun? Like, and I was like, man, I skateboard, I do this, I run sometimes. And they were like, this is great. Like, they just want to be like personable, right?
100%.
And then they were like, come back the next day and go like figure out how to make a coffee, right? And usually when you go to any cafe, you kind of, they have a sheet where it's like there's always a recipe for coffee, right? Like there's like this many grams in, this many out. Like this is what our recipe is for these beans, right? They didn't have that, right? There was no recipe for me, and I was like, man, like I don't know what to do. Like this is the first time I've been put in this position. Anyways, I like made some stuff up, right? And I ended up making some pretty good coffees, and everyone came back and gave feedback, being like, this is amazing. Then the next day they were like, come in, like you got the job, like start working here. And it was honestly one of the best jobs. I've learned so much from them. Because it wasn't like one of those cafes where you're working for somebody. Like even though I am, it was that cafe was mine, right? Like I made it my own.
Yeah, literally, right?
Brought plants in. I put my own sign up. I did this thing, and I did all the ordering. So you kind of had that sense of you're running this cafe, you're giving this service, you're getting feedback from people. Like it's kind of your own thing.
Yeah, I love it so much. Yeah, I remember walking into the office and you were just there, and it was just such a nice, like, chill vibe. You know, you're just wearing, just some nice jeans, baggy tee. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much what you're wearing now.
Got my speaker in the corner playing music.
Exactly, just playing chill music, and you're doing like what you love and being paid for it. Like,
exactly.
What more can you ask?
And the people there, man, they were unreal.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The cool thing about it is like there was people in the accounting section, there's the marketing team, and you're learning from like all these people. They come and they're giving you advice for your futures, and now I have connections. It's the biggest thing.
Exactly. And like, what has networking been like in the coffee industry or in the hospitality industry? Because I can imagine you serve so many people from so many different walks of life, and just like have a brief conversation with them. Like,
100%.
What's that all like?
Well, like at the cafe, you're always getting delivery drivers coming in, right? Like you kind of figure out like, oh, this relationship with them is really pretty cool. Like I already know when I open my business, like which suppliers I'm already going for.
Serious?
Right?
Wow.
Because even they come in with a smiling face, they're great. Then like they're never late. They're always even if you forget to order, like they message you being like, hey, like send in your order, man. Like I'm coming tomorrow. Like so like I figured all that stuff out in the sense of like suppliers, and in the like terms of like networking, it was like the other sense. It's pretty hard to network as a barista. So
Yeah, you reckon? Is that because you're like focused on the job sort of thing? Or?
I think so. It's but like who are you gonna? I haven't. You know what? There's always someone to network with.
Yeah.
But in my head, I haven't actually thought about like who am I gonna network with? I am always talking to people and like conversing with them, right? But like it's just like who am I gonna like? What am I gonna talk to you about?
Yeah, true. I guess that's my commerce brain racking
no.
a few notches. But I don't know. I think it's just amazing just chatting to people, and
100%.
what a way to do it when you're making coffees for people. Like it's such, and you hear how food is like such a social glue, but I think
100%.
coffee is like even probably a bigger social glue as well. It's more cost efficient.
Exactly.
Bit cheaper, you know. You can pick it up and I don't know, go for a walk. You can't really pick up,
with it.
I don't know, scrambled eggs and.
It's just crazy. Like I think people always say like these robots are going to take over. Like coffee.
Oh, that's interesting.
I've seen them. They're literally down the road in the shopping center. It's like what $4.50 for a coffee, and it's pumping it out. It's done, but you're taking away that interaction, and I think that interaction is the most important. Like no one cares about the coffee, man. If you want a coffee, go downstairs and make it. Like you can do that, right? But people go out for that interaction. You literally build a relationship with customers and what the staff that work there as well. On the other hand, like so you're building relationships with people.
Yeah, 100%. So you're not worried about like robots or anything taking
Man,
over?
it's so cool that they can do that, and it's amazing that someone's even thought about like. And it's crazy to see that's already being done. Like I thought about it, I was like, man, how are you gonna do like how are you gonna pour a swan, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
No, they can do it, but you're gonna take away that interaction with people, and I think especially like again, everyone hates bringing it up, but after COVID, like people understand like that was the only thing people had. People left their house to come to the cafe just to even talk.
Yeah.
They didn't even want a coffee; they just came and spoke.
100%. It's the novelty of the experience, and like what a way to do it as well when you're making latte art as well, and you're able to like show them, and they can take their cap off and like see the
exactly.
art.
It just puts a smile on their face. It's the best thing.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, coffee. How good.
It's amazing, man. It's science behind it.
Yeah, literally the whole podcast about coffee, but I feel like there's just some really nice like underlying themes and
I mean, yeah, it's not just like it's not just a job, it's not just work, it's not just a drink, right? There's so many things behind it. It's like there's a story behind it.
And I guess that's why, because I think so many people burn out from the hospitality industry. Have you ever felt that at all, or do you feel like you're really good at maintaining your passion?
There's definitely days where like you're like, man, like I think everyone in hospitality will agree. There's days where you're just like, man, why am I doing this, right? But then like every day is a new day. It's one of those things where you go home and you just refresh your mind. Like it's one of the best jobs because once you leave hospitality, like once you leave for the day, you don't have to think about work. Like I finished work, I don't even know, 2 hours ago. I don't have to think about what's happening tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow's just, it's all in the moment stuff, right? But whereas like someone working in accounting, they're going to be like, man, I have to go home. I have this deadline due tomorrow. I have to go work on this. There's no deadline for me. Like it's all in the moment. And that's what I think it's kind of fun living in the moment.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's my clip there. Far out.
There you
That's
go.
awesome. Yeah, holy shit. Because yeah, I guess like it doesn't string on and it doesn't accrue over time as well. Like you're there just to make coffees as
You're
well.
just there. It's you don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
You don't. It's cool.
Oh, I love it so much. Oh my god. What's your favorite coffee? I didn't even ask you that
just
question.
A simple latte. My license plate on my car is latte. So,
Latte,
So if you ever see the car latte, it's mine.
Beautiful.
Just give me a wave.
Alrighty. And with the cafe, is that something further down the line that you want to create?
You know what's crazy? That cafe it's been a dream, and I think I'll definitely do it one day. But with all these opportunities coming up now, especially like with social media, again, I never thought like I would make this into a business, but like now I'm starting to grow, and I want to, and I figured out like teaching people and educating people around the world is like it's so much fun. Like I actually really enjoy, and even if it's like I'm changing one person's life, but it's not changing their life, but like teaching them one thing, and like even if it's one person that I'm changing, it's like it's enough for me to be like I want to keep doing this. So at the moment I'm starting to create a website, create like a training program. I want to Even when I
Really?
move to London, I might do barista training, right? Like I want people,
That's so cool.
whether I go to the cafes and do that. So
Like specializing in just art, or do you reckon like
the whole skill
different
set,
types
man,
of
the whole
coffee?
thing. Like
Wow.
I'll have a category where it's just I'll teach you the basics of how to make a coffee, how to make a good coffee, and then there's the aspect of latte art, which you kind of want to know. Again, in the beginning, I was like, I wanted to just do art before I wanted to make a good coffee, but you really have to learn how to make a good coffee.
Run us through the ingredients. What's your like favorite to use for? Let's just say a latte. Your favorite?
Just the process, like
Yeah, like do you have certain beans that you use? I know there's like all these people that talk about like, oh my god, what beans are they using at this
Yeah, no,
cafe?
fair.
What milk do they use at this cafe?
For sure.
Yeah, talk to us about your method, like your ideal method.
Well, I mean, there's so many different types of beans, and like the way they're roasted, it just changes everything. Like I didn't realize this, but I do now, obviously realize this, but like there's filter beans, there's single origin, there's house blends, and all these things. Like single origin is just like beans from one certain place. Filter is just roasted a bit differently, so you get those fruity flavors rather than like the chocolate, like nutty flavors from like a normal coffee, right? So like with a normal latte, say at the cafe, we're doing house blend, which is like 3 different origins all blended together, and they're all like chosen precisely to give you this beautiful chocolatey, like nutty caramel flavor, right? So we run that out, put that shot in, steam up some nice milk, and again, this is actually like the most insane thing ever. I went to a dairy farm on Tuesday last week, and you never think about this, but you know, with oat milks and alternative milks, you go, oh, this is my favorite brand. This is what I like.
Yeah.
But you don't do that. Do you like? What do you drink normal lattes?
Yeah, I
cream?
do. Yeah.
So when you go to a cafe, you don't go, hey, like, do you use like Pro-Cal? Like you don't say that.
No, not
right?
at all. It's just like, oh, okay, I get normal milk.
Exactly.
Or like skim milk, you know?
Exactly. But
yeah.
so they were like, the people are so picky with alternative milks, but little do they know, like full cream milk, it's 80% of your coffee. Like you need to figure out like there's different proteins and tastes and sugars that are coming out of this coffee where in the milk that you're not thinking about. So I like just recently I've been thinking, I was like, man, every time I drink milk like in a coffee now, I'm like is it the milk that's changing the taste of the coffee, or is it? So I actually want to go do an experiment. I'll make a video about that.
Yeah, please. I'd be keen to see that one.
No one thinks about it, and it's crazy.
Literally. Yeah, so putting, I guess, cafe to the side and starting this sort of tutoring or like learning sort of business model and traveling the world. How
100%.
good. Oh.
I just can't wait, man. Like I will obviously still continue to put out content and do this like coffee scene, but I'm so excited to just go travel, man. Like just going to see the world one place at a time, having easily, like it's so easy to access like all these countries from basing yourself in London. So
yeah, perfect. Do you have like a re-arrival date for Melbourne, or you're just gonna
2
see
years,
how it
man?
goes?
Whatever happens, you never know. It could be a year, it could be 2 years. If I hate it, I'll come back. But I think I really want to stick out these 2 years, regardless of what happens. You know?
Yeah, perfect.
It's gonna be good for me.
Yeah, amazing. Aman, like you sound so passionate about coffee. What if I'm someone who can't really find that passion? Like, what's your big piece of advice?
Passion in anything?
Anything, yeah.
Man, you just gotta play around with life. You know, like you can't take everything seriously. I think whatever you. I'm trying to think of a good way to say this. Something. Okay, fuck. It's really hard.
It is hard, yeah. I mean, stumper of a question, because I guess context for myself as well. Like 3rd year, about to finish my commerce or business degree, you know, and then you don't really know where you're going to put your footing.
I think
at all.
Don't try and search for like your passion. I think it'll come to you and naturally. And once you find something that's like that you really enjoy, and you keep wanting to do this, then you just go forward with it. And again, if you don't like it, like we're all young, right? Like we can all take these risks where if you don't like whatever you're doing, just find the next best thing.
Yeah.
I think throughout life you'll just figure it out. Like you'll figure it out. You know? I think it'll just come by to you. You know, you can't chase it.
Yeah, perfect. Oh gosh, life.
It's great. It's actually really insane.
It is, yeah. It sounds like you've just, I don't know, like bounced to and from different places, and again, it brings me back to that, I guess, coffee conversation. How it's like you're not stuck in this one place. Like you can make coffees anywhere.
Exactly. That's what. And you know what? Like, so this video I posted online, right? I made this elephant, put it up, got millions of views, and all the comments, like all the negative comments that came out of this, were people being like, "Man, this is like 80% creamer in your coffee," and I was like, oh my god, it's not creamer. Like we're not in America. Like I understand that you guys use creamer.
At least you
like,
reached America.
No, exactly. That was the cool part. But I was like, they're not understanding. And like, I would love to just explain to every single person in these comments. There was thousands of comments, and I was like, guys, like, and I what I did was I just went in my notes and I wrote a little paragraph being like, this isn't creamer, this is milk. Coffee's different all around the world, and like, I wanted to educate people on like, this is a cappuccino in Australia. Like, this is how we drink our coffee. You might drink it differently, but it's different. So now my goal is to like go around, and when I do travel, I'm gonna make these videos of being like, this is what a latte is in Italy, right? Like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
like it's not the same thing we have here.
Yeah, you can make like this coffee dictionary or something.
Exactly.
That could be so cool.
You go anywhere in the world, it's so different.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing about it. Everyone drinks it differently. Like, Turkish coffee is like amazingly different. American coffee is simple sugar. Like, that's what they like, right? And everyone has their own taste. So.
Sweet as fuck.
So exactly, but there's no perfect coffee in the world, right? Everyone has it differently.
Yeah.
Which is the sickest thing, and I don't need to go figure that out. That's my plan, man. That's my plan.
Yeah. So what, you just started posting these videos and they gain traction? Like, what's your sort of tips and tricks for TikTok and
so
beating the algorithm?
I started on Instagram and just started going well. People, when I was like 18, I'd go out to the bar and people would be like, I know you, but it was just like a mutual friend, right? But they were like, I've seen your Instagram before.
Oh, cool.
And it was like, I was like, man, this is cool. Like, this is how it feels to be like a bit famous, right? And then I kind of stopped. I just like didn't give up, but like I just dropped out of my love for filming those videos. And then I don't even know what it was recently, but like what I do? Oh no, I did a photo shoot with this coffee company, right? I did all the designs for the photo shoot, so they posted on their Instagram, their website, and I was like, I'm gonna record this day. So I made like a little cool edit out of that, like the photo shoot, put it on TikTok, and people were like, oh, this is like pretty sick. And then I did it again the next day, and they were like, this is really cool. And I really enjoyed editing and making these videos. And then I kept posting, and then the videos started to gradually just get better and like get more views. And then I don't even know how, but like I made this elephant. Like, one of my friends asked me to do an elephant, and I made it, and it started to get some views. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I kept going. And kept going, and I was like, what is happening? And it got to like 1 million. I was like, this is amazing. Got to 2 million. I was like, this is so cool. Got to 4 million within like, I don't know, a day or two. And I was like, what's happening? And my dad was like, man, I don't, like, what's like, something's crazy right now. Something's happening, but this video is going everywhere. And it just kept going up and up and up. And I was like, and now it's on like 15.5
million views.
15.5 million views, this one elephant video. And that's only on my TikTok, but all these other pages that have now shared it have like 4 million on theirs. They have 6 million on. It's just spreading. It was like a wildfire, and it was amazing. So that sparked me. I was like, man, like that was really cool. I want to do this again.
Yeah, was that something that like really reignited that passion for making video? Yeah, I can imagine.
I think with anyone though, it's like when you feel love or whatever, and it's like,
and like that validation. Like, sometimes you do need it, you know. Like, sometimes the podcast might not do as well, and I'm just like, oh well, fuck, like I don't feel like this is satisfying anymore. You know, like you do need that external validation. But
when someone's like, man, I watched your podcast, it was amazing. Like
I know
there's one person that I've just helped, and
literally,
it's really cool.
It actually happened to me recently. I think I was out, whether it was clubbing or at an event, and people just pull me aside and they're like, oh, you're the guy that does the podcast. And like, that just made it feels so fucking good.
It's like, oh, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like all for the validation. Of course, we're trying to spread value. Like, you're trying to show off like the art and everything, and teach people about different walks of coffee.
Exactly. I want to teach people how to make a good coffee. I put tutorials and stuff out. So I just like helping people, you know?
Yeah. What was that lull like though? Was it because you felt that you weren't getting recognized for the work that you were putting in, or you just sort of fell out of love with it?
I wouldn't say I fell out of love with it. Maybe I think I just got too busy, or like it just, I don't know. I was still posting on Instagram. I was posting like these just photos of me doing whatever, but there was no videos of coffee or photos of coffee that I just kept doing before. And I think that's another thing is like, I think I was just posting the same thing all the time because there's only so many designs you can do. But then now because of TikTok and like I want to get new content out, it's forced me to go learn new designs. Like I've been learning. That's where I learned the elephant. I've just recently learned, like I did a seahorse recently. Doing a Pegasus at the moment, which is like it's insane, right? Like I've already pretty much have it down, but like just these like random things, like I just want, it keeps me growing, and so it's pretty cool. But,
yeah, that's mental.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Some things like the negativity as well. Like I don't think I've ever actually had to deal with someone saying like, what the hell is that? What, this is terrible. What the, like this is a shit coffee, right? I like a lot of my life. It's been people like, holy hell, like this coffee is amazing. Like you make amazing coffee. Or that looks really good. But then as soon as I got like those few hate comments, I was like, oh, like it got to me. It got to my head, and I was like, oh, like how do I cope with this? Like it's nothing hectic, nothing that would make me super upset and like cry, but like
no, but it hurts.
But I was like, man, like people aren't like you don't like this. Like what do you mean? What do you mean it doesn't look like an elephant? Like it does. But then everyone has their own opinion, and then now I'm super comfortable. If anyone says anything bad about my coffee, I look at it and I just go, it's fine. Like it is funny. Like fair enough.
It is, and we have this negativity bias where it's like, well, you literally got what 15 plus million views
for sure.
And there's a few hate comments, of course, because like how are you going to filter through 15 million people without a single hate comment?
Exactly, and it's just.
And it's over coffee.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. But like, why do you care so much?
Exactly. It's like, how do you find a way to hate on coffee? I mean, obviously it tastes bad, but you're looking at the design.
Yeah, you can't complain about the taste. You don't know what it tastes like.
Yeah,
but what was it? No.
That's actually wild.
Yeah.
I actually cannot believe it.
It's insane.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, how has it been sort of navigating the hate or the negativity from?
I just take it and I reply if it's something like, man, this coffee has so much creamer. I just educate them. And a lot of the people that have said like, they go 10% coffee, 80% cream, and I go or 90% cream. Sorry, and I was like, I go, oh, this is what a cappuccino in Australia. This is how we drink it. And then the reply is like, oh, thank you for like educating me. Like, they thank me for like letting them know because I guess they didn't think about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you can fight it, like I'm not obviously gonna fight back with them, but if I can like be nice back and maybe just like. People they kind of move back a bit when you go like, oh, I'm sorry, like this, you don't like this coffee. They go, oh, that's okay. It still looks good though. Like people like step back and then they take a little step forward, you know.
100%. And I think it's that like keyboard warrior status where you're like, oh, I can say like whatever I want behind the screen.
And you don't think I'm ever going to see it, but I honestly, because I'm still new to this, I go through everything. I want to see all these comments and read what people are thinking, right?
100%. And like, yeah, everyone's always going to see it. And then as soon as I guess a content creator does reply back, you sort of reread what you say and you're like,
yeah, like, gosh,
like why did I say that?
He saw that video? Like,
yeah, exactly, because they feel like they're hiding behind the screen first, but then it's like, oh, it's this big influencer, they're not gonna like, I don't know, see what I'm doing. But yeah, you've amassed like what 17k followers now, isn't it?
17k,
far out. How over how long?
We're in April now. I started to be like this the end of Jan, very end of Jan.
Jeez,
very March, like
being quick,
2.5 months maybe.
Yeah, amazing.
And it's I love it. It's obviously there was a big spike, and like I reckon 2 videos did absolutely amazing. Like one of them's on 9.5 mil, right? Like it's huge. So like 2 videos is what really got everything started, and then now everything is just flowing with it. Like people are still asking questions. Like this NFL team, the Buccaneers, they commented on my video randomly, being like, "Can you try a logo?" Mind you, this logo, like I can do designs, right? But this is like, what is it? It's a skull with like 2 swords like an X and then a ball in the middle. I'm like, oh, like this seems impossible. Anyways, I interpreted it in my own way, made the whole thing, put it up, and they were like, this is amazing. Then they reshared it on their TikTok, and because we both have 2 different demographics on our
100%.
on our things, mine was like, this is so cool, this looks amazing. But there's like all hardcore sports people, and they were like, what the hell is that? This is terrible. And again, I read the comments and I'm laughing because I'm like, I agree. Like, what is this? Like, I know it's not the best thing in the world, right? Like, I know, but I interpreted it my own way, and this is the best I could do. And I know since that's it. Like, laugh at all you want, but like, at least they've seen it, and I've like, they're probably just jealous.
Yeah,
you know? Like
100%, because they probably just like dump their milk in or something.
Exactly,
you know?
and I'm fine with these hate comments now. Like,
oh, I love it.
I know majority, and you know what it is? All the negative comments, like all this not bad engagement, but all the engagement that's negative. It's just fueling the views, and that's what helps you grow. Like if one person says something bad about your video, that video will come up on someone else's feed, and they'll be like, "Oh, I can't believe this came up. This is so cool." Yeah. And then it just goes like it's a whole chain effect. You know?
Literally,
so any comment's a good comment.
I know haters are the best engagement. I reckon, because they'll probably share to their mates about, "Oh, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah, look at this, but you're still
sharing it, mate. Like, thanks for the share.
If you're thinking about it after it's there, like. I've done
job
something
done.
Good, right?
Exactly. Job done. Oh, what's next for you other than this London trip? Like, do you have anything else planned, or do you feel like you're just taking it sort of day by day?
Well, I mean, I don't know what's next. Like who knows what's going to come out of this? I'm going to keep posting videos. I'm going to keep doing all these things. I'm investing in equipment, which is cool. Like I've got this new tripod, this gimbal. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, the gimbal.
Yeah, I
They
got-
like move, but the camera doesn't, right?
Yeah,
And
you can
just,
walk
like,
around
move
and it's like. So I got one of those. Who knows what I'm going to use it for? Right? I'll figure it out. But I bought it.
I love it.
just
Yeah, do you
gotta-
have like a mate that helps you out with like filming videos and
Yeah,
stuff?
well, at the moment it's just whoever I can like get to help me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've got this chef at work who also films content.
Love it.
His name's Caleb, by the way. So
Shout
check
out.
Caleb Cooks. All right, but he helps me. He's like he films my videos. He's supportive. He comments on all my stuff. He's like it's having that person that's just like hyping you up in the corner, right? So he's been a good help. But now when I'm gone, it's all up to me to figure
Yeah,
out
it is.
how I'm gonna. I had a tripod. I used to connect it to the machine and record it like above shots,
Above the top.
right? But
Yeah, love it. Oh god.
I gotta figure it out. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen next. I obviously want to grow, turn this whatever I'm doing into a business. Like I want to help people and I want to make this into something I can live off. Right?
Yeah, and what a way to do it when you're loving it as well. Like,
Exactly, man.
It sounds like you've developed such a strong passion for it, and like keep kicking goals.
For sure, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like popping off on TikTok and all the social media algorithms. Like, I wish you all the best, and
Thank you, I
yeah, I
appreciate
thank you. I thank you for your time. Like,
No,
it's
thank
been
you.
a pleasure chatting with
This
you.
is fun, man. This is like a whole new experience, and I want to sit here all day.
Yeah,
You know,
amazing.
it's one of those things.
Oh,
Like,
that's good. We'll have to get you on after London, I reckon. I feel like there'll be some
done.
progressions, and we'll see how we
it'll be a
go.
whole new me. I probably wouldn't even look like this anymore.
I know, are you gonna grow the hair out or something?
No, I mean I change my look all the time.
Because you had long hair and then blonde hair and then
exactly
like
dude, it's everything. I've done shaved head, long hair. I've literally had hair up to here. I went blonde. I've like gone skinhead once. Actually, it was an accident. But I've done it. I've done it, man. Like, so who knows? I've had a stash, like those curly stashes.
I did see that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
Then I shaved it, went like clean shaven. Now I've got a beard. Like I don't know what's gonna happen with me.
But
maybe I'll
that's-
come back covered in tattoos. You don't know.
Oh,
You never know.
What would you do? Patchwork?
Yeah, definitely sticker tats are like
Yeah,
the
sticker
vibe,
tats are the
right?
vibe. Yeah.
Just get coffee cups all over me.
Coffee
No, I'm just kidding. No.
I love it so much. Where can people find you? I've been plugging you throughout the whole episode, but yeah.
I'm on coffee on TikTok. I'm on coffee on Instagram. It's pretty much anywhere you type in I'm on coffee, it's there. But
Love it.
TikTok's my new main platform, and Instagram will be. I actually haven't posted on Instagram. No.
Yeah, maybe you'll need to hop onto that as well. I reckon Reels
Instagram's my thing.
blow up as well. Yeah,
Let's do that. Instagram and TikTok. That's where I am.
love it. Be sure to follow at Life with Lamb podcast and on Instagram, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Hey, thank you.
Yo.